Today we're going to go over subtracting integers. Subtracting integers have the exact same rules as adding integers, only we're going to talk about a double negative or a minus a negative in the middle of our problem. So we're going to start off again with our song. Same signs add and keep, different signs subtract. Keep the sign of the larger number, then you'll be exact. So those are the rules we're going to use. So let's review a couple of questions. Let's look at -6 plus 4. The first thing I do is I circle the sign in front of the number. So here I have a minus and here I have a plus. Since the signs are different, I'm going to follow the different rule. I'm going to subtract. 6 minus 4 is 2, and keep the sign of the larger number. 6 is larger than 4, so 6 is negative. My answer is negative. Let's look at one that has a double negative in the middle. Let's look at 3 minus -2. Sometimes you can see it like this. Sometimes you can see it with parentheses around it. Either way, it's the exact same thing. A double negative, what does it mean? Well, a negative really means the opposite of. So if I have 3, that's obviously 1, 2, 3. But if I have -3, that's the opposite of +3, so it would be 3 negatives. So here we have the opposite of -2, which is +2. So anytime we have a double negative in the middle, we're going to change this to addition and then look at our signs. Now I ask myself, 3 is positive because there's no number in front of it, and now this too becomes a positive. So both signs are positive, so I deal with same signs. I'm going to add the numbers and keep the sign. So 3 plus 2 is 5, and they're both positive, so I keep the +5, but I don't have to write the positive sign. Let's take a look at another one. Let's look at 7 minus -4. Again, I'm going to see that I have a double negative, which now I know becomes a positive because the opposite of negative is positive. Then I circle the signs in front. 7 is positive because there's nothing in front. 4 is positive because there's a plus sign in front. Same signs, add. So 7 plus 4 is 11. Keep the sign, it's positive, so the answer is positive. Let's look at -8 minus 11. Again, I circle the signs in front of the number. So that's a -8 and a -11. Same signs, so I'm going to add 8 plus 11 is 19. And keep the sign is negative. Let's look at 3 different numbers together. Let's look at 3 minus 4 minus -2. Again, I could see parentheses here, but it's not necessary, and it could appear either way. Order of operations tells me subtraction, I do whichever comes first, left or right. So I'm going to start here. The sign of the 3 is a positive because there's nothing there. The sign of the 4 is a negative. So signs are different. Since they're different, I subtract. 4 minus 3 is 1. Keep the sign of the larger, which is negative, because 4 is the bigger number. Then I bring down the rest of the problem, minus, negative, and 2. Anytime I see a double negative, I'm going to change it to positive. So now I check my signs. I have a -1 and a +2. The signs are different, so I'm going to subtract. 2 minus 1 is 1. And I keep the sign of the larger number, which is 2, and 2 is positive, so my answer is positive. We'll be working more adding and subtracting integers.